Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of black bordering every map in BTD6. Today, we have 2 advanced maps left before we are completely done with black borders. And we're going to start with Sunset Gulch, and later we will move on to the very last one being Party Parade. The hero I'm going to be using today is Azili. We're going to use the Smudge Cat skin because I've already used the Galaxy skin, and I'm between these two and I kind of want to use the cat skin. I've got Ellie in the room with me, so maybe she'll be making an appearance later. But let's get into the chimps run today, and let's take on Sunset Gulch and try to make a fun strategy with the remaining tier 5s we have left on the spreadsheet. I'm going to start with a Druid and Dart Monkey. I'm going to put the Druid in the front, as far top left next to the track as possible, and I'm going to put him on last. And then I'm going to put the Dart Monkey top left, right below the train track, but as far left on this little cliff as I can. And then I'll put him on first to catch any of the balloons that the Druid misses. I'm hoping if everything goes according to plan, we can at least beat the first 3 rounds without running into any issues. But I just want to be able to save up into Azili as quick as possible. And I think the easiest way to do that is to have a Druid Dart start. And maybe if I can somehow get through round 9 without dying, we can maybe be able to get Azili before round 10. What I'm going to just do is hover a sniper here so that if the Dart Monkey misses any of these balloons on round 9, we can have the sniper clean up, but we actually don't. And we can get Azili by round 10, which is not something I expected, but I'm very pleasantly surprised. And I'm going to keep the Druid on last, and then Azili and the Dart Monkey will both be on first. And we're doing great so far. I could get Thorn Swarm on the Druid. I do eventually want to get it up to a... Ooh. Please pop that. Oh no. I'll just get a Dart Monkey in the back. That was not ideal, but we had the money to spare. I was really hoping I could get away with a sniper, but I think we were not quite there in the money department. So let's just keep on going. I think the only thing that could kill us right now is yellows or pinks. And round 12, the yellows are kind of isolated. So for round 13, I'm going to get Hard Thorns and Thorn Swarm. This significantly boosts the popping power of my Druid. And that should allow us to beat round 14. And then for round 15, I'm going to get to the drawing board, figure out something that can work. With $525, we could just get a sniper, keep it simple. And I think I'm going to do that. So it doesn't really matter where I put it, because I think you can only fit 1 tower on this platform anyway. But I'll put him as far to the right as possible. And we will put him on strong. This will help us pop the pinks down to greens as quick as possible. And hopefully that makes the Druid not get overwhelmed. And there we go. We are continuing to do just fine. Now that I have Hard Thorns and Thorn Swarm on the Druid, we have a lot of good grouped popping power as well. So if I could, I would love to save up for a Druid of the Jungle as soon as possible. We have camo popping power with Azili, so that's not going to be an issue. And we handle round 18. And round 19 is going to be a challenge. Let's hope no pinks get through. If I need to change my sniper's targeting, I will. But we have 2 Dart Monkeys in the back. And right in the middle of round 20, we will be able to afford our Druid of the Jungle. And now that we have it, let's put the Druid on first. And then let's work on our defense for the late game. What I want to do is have most of my defenses in the back, because I want to have a spiked mines and then have some stuff at the front for good Moab popping power, but I would love to have just a ton of really good cleanup. So what I think I'm going to do is put a spike factory, not all the way up here, but maybe like right here, and then put him kind of down a little bit. I just want to make sure that he is putting spikes on the track, which he is perfect. But I don't want him to be putting spikes too far to the right, because this part of the downturn at the end of the track is for balloons only, so rounds like 63 and 78 and 76. I'm going to want these spiked mines to be able to pop ceramics on that round. So that's why I put the spike factory right here. And then we can get an alch buff for it and get some other buffing towers as well. Fit some druids in here and just some other support options. So far we're doing good. We've got camo popping power now with the Zeely and the spike factory. We've got a lot of really good balloon popping power with the 130 druid. We should be fine to save up for a little while here. So I'll see you guys whenever we start to struggle, but really I think this strategy here can save us up all the way through 39. But before that, I'll get a spike, bigger stacks, and I think that's it. I think we'll just save up until we have to get Moab defense for round 40. Alright, this may have gone on for a little too long. It's only around 38, but I have $7,200. And I think my Moab popping is just going to be a deadly precision sniper. So I'm going to get this thing up to a 302. This will help me pop some of the higher tier balloons. This will make sure we don't struggle to the ceramics on 38 or any of the rainbows on 39. And with the deadly precision, we could probably get... I'm trying to think if we could get the spiked balls. We're not going to have a very big spike pile by the time the round 40 Moab has made it pretty far. But between the deadly precision being able to pop ceramics as a whole, and then the druid being able to pop ceramics as a whole, we might just have enough to pop one or two. So we have $5,100, plenty of money to buy something. I'm trying to think. So let's see, that'll be about $3,200, and then we could get the extra attack speed as well. And maybe alch buff it, but oh, okay, I have an idea. And then I'll get a glue right here in the bottom left. Do I want to do that though? I think I will. And then get the bigger globs just so it can slow down any ceramics. So I have the druid and the sniper on strong. And yeah, those ceramics get absolutely shredded. They don't even make it to the spike pile, so we're doing good. And now we can continue saving up. I would like to be able to get spiked mines. The only thing we have to beat is the camos on 42, which we have a Zeely and the spike factory for. But we were able to beat round 42 on workshop with just the spike factory, so we should be fine. This shouldn't be too many rainbows. And in fact, it is not too many rainbows. So we should be okay. Our save up is not going to be too tedious, so let's just save up for the spiked mines, and then we can start figuring out our mid-game defense. Alright, I got around 47 spiked mines, which is awesome. And I think I want to alch buff it, so I'm going to put the alchemist above, because I don't really need him to be popping any balloons. And then we'll get larger potions and acidic mixture dip on round 48. And actually we can get Berserker Brew by the end of round 48 because we get a lot of rainbows towards the end of the round. And then I'll get stronger acid and perishing potions. I'm not going to get stronger stimulant because I don't want the alchemist buffing up the glue gunner. But the glue gunner is later probably going to be upgraded into a glue strike, so it's not all for nothing. But since we have the spiked mines, we pretty much have a mid-game carry. And now I want to talk about what tier 5s I was thinking about for this run. I'll pull up the spreadsheet here. I guarantee we're not going to lose to round 50. And let's take a look. There's a few options eyeing me down. One is the blooncineration. Another one is Monarch of Storms. And then another one is the XXXL trap. Between the three of those, I don't know if we can afford the Monarch of Storms before we would eventually die. But I'm thinking the blooncineration could actually work if I just put it towards the front of the map. And as I'm saying, this round 51 is coming through, and there's a lot of camo ceramics, but none of which are too dangerous for me to handle. And I think I'm making the executive decision. I think I'm going to use the blooncineration today. What I'm going to do is, to start, I'm going to get a village as high and left as possible next to the spike factory. Get jungle drums, and then I'm going to put a mortar as far bottom right as possible. Yeah, I think as far bottom right as possible. at the back. And then I want to set the target here at the front. And then get a 003 signal flare for right now. And I think I want to get the rapid reload, but I'm not 100% sure if that is the best blue incineration crosspath, so I think I'm going to do BTD6 best blue incineration crosspath. And let's see what the recent reports have been saying. I don't trust AI. I don't like what AI says about stuff. 024 is necessary on shorter maps if there is a lack of good loops or consistent hits. Okay. Okay, those are videos from 2020. But okay, I'm gonna keep looking. I love how this just turned into a video of me figuring out what the best blue incineration crosspath is. Here we go, September 2025. Crosspath choice between 205 and 025. Wait, where is that? The blazes spawn from blue incineration, dealing 1 damage every 0.1 seconds. Contact within a 15 radius and 20 fierce per tick. With 205, it deals 3 damage within a 21 radius and has 36 pierce. And I guess the 025 just makes it faster? Okay. And there's really no talk about what crosspath might be better. That's interesting. Okay. Well, let's just get the shattering shells then, I suppose. And we will keep figuring out which crosspath is the best. And we will hope that we don't die in the process. I'm genuinely curious. Alright, executive decision. We're just going for rapid reload. This will help us fortify the Moabs and BFBs. And I think generally it'll just be better. I saw someone do a 2TC on Cubism with 025. That was 4 years ago, but let's see. Alright, for round 63, we get a blue incineration off on the ceramic wave, and that's good. Not a blue incineration, a shattering shells. So we're hanging in there. Spiked Mines is absolutely disgustingly OP. And we're alive. Alright, Flare Bloons Pop posted 2 months ago, him doing Bloonsin and Bloon Solver 2TC. I want to know what crosspath he got. Oh, he got the top path. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Or wait, did he? Yeah, he did. Okay. I think top path is better. So, oops, I suppose. But that's alright. We live and we learn. I'm not a blue incineration user, so I don't know better. Alright, here come the BFBs. I'm just going to use a Hex. I'm really not trying to die to 2 BFBs. We are quite a ways away from the blue incin. I mean, Shattering Shells saves up into itself decently. It does help with around 66 because it defortifies the Moabs, which is good. And this sniper is doing good work, just kind of tearing down these Moab layers pretty quickly and popping the insides. I'm thinking if I should get the Glue Strike now or later, because it is about 6,000 more dollars that I'll be spending before getting the blue incineration, so I would like to save up my money as best as I can. But I'm not entirely sure just yet. But we shouldn't struggle until round 75. Even on 75, I'll probably just use a Hex. So I think the next round we would even struggle to is 76. And I think I want to have Glue Strike for that. I'm just going to get the 040. I'll crosspath it later, but let's just get it to be safe, and then I'll see you guys probably on round 76. I did hex around 71 and 73 just to be safe, because those would be rounds that would kill me. And I think I'm going to use a hex here. It is going to connect to the group of 3 BFBs. And then the last group of 3 should die because the spike pile is big enough. And there we go. And then when round 76, all of the ceramics come out, I'm just going to use a glue strike. And we should be able to handle. Shattering Shells actually does quite a decent job. So I will take that. And then we'll have a hex available for round 77. We've got level 13 Azili. I would love to have level 20 by round 100 so we don't have to worry about that bad balloon. Whether we can get that before round 100 will be to be determined. But I got Azili really early on an advanced map, so I know I wasn't close to getting level 20 on Spice Islands, but that is a map that you don't level as quickly on. I am going to glue strike for round 78, just to be safe once again. And I think for 79, I'm either going to use an early hex or a late hex. I don't know if you can use both. Like one early round and one late round, so I don't know if it would be better to let the spike pile build up first and take out the first couple BFBs quickly, or to wait and use it later. I think early is probably the best option. So let's wait. And then let's use a hex here because that guarantees that the second BFB will be on the screen. And we hex 2 BFBs because they come out very slowly. And then I'm going to use a glue strike when the 4th BFB comes out, just so we can pop it a little quicker. And then we have 2 fortified BFBs, but the Shattering Shells is able to defortify them, so we're actually not going to have to worry at all. And we're about $1,500 off from the Bloonsin, but luckily, with round 80, we have the Moab Hex, so we do not die. I'm going to wait till the ZOMG is kind of popped, and then I'll use the Hex to take out the end of it. And now we are only $100 off. When the first BFB pops, I'm going to use an early glue strike. And then we'll have enough money for the Bloonsin. And we've got it. I'm really hoping we don't die to round 81, because if we can get through this round, then we are good to go. And now that we have a pretty good wall of fire pile added at the front, we just need ceramic popping in the back, so the glue strike and the spiked mines should do a good job of that. Another tower I'm going to get, just to play it on the safe side, is a... Let's see, I'm probably going to put it towards the back. It's going to be a snowstorm. And since I have the snowstorm and the glue strike, I might get primary mentoring. I think I am. And monkey commerce, because I would like to get free upgrades for some primary towers and quicker ability cooldowns, because we're going to be having Snowstorm and Glue Strike, so I might as well. And the blooncineration is going to defortify everything, so literally everything that makes its way to the back is just ceramics. And that's exactly how I want it. We could get another tower that pops Moabs well at the front. I'm thinking maybe just spamming out a couple of Maulers. So let's do one with frags on strong, and then we can get that up to a Moab Assassin. And that's going to be it for now. I'm going to chill just for a little while because I don't think we're going to need anything for the next few rounds. I'm going to use a Hex on round 85 because the OMGs are still scary. And then for round 86 it's going to be a joke because we have the defortifying. Everything is going according to plan as of right now. Azili is level 15, which leaves a little bit to be desired, but I think we can probably get there by round 100, even if I have to spend a little bit of money to level her up faster. Ooh, round 86 is or round 88 we're struggling because we didn't have a big enough spike pile. And then I'm gonna use a nice. I'm going to use a assassin ability as well. And then 89, again, we have defortifying, so should be no problems here. We just need ceramic slow and stun. That's really the name of the game right now. I'm thinking about getting a Morclaves. Getting one this late in the game is kind of weird, but I mean, seriously, we just need ceramic slowing and popping. So the options are either get another spiked mines or get a like something like a more glazed. I'm gonna put a spike factory down because we can always get it up to a spike storm later. But I think I'm just gonna go for another spiked mines. I don't see any better options. I am gonna use a hex when I see the first DDT come out on my screen because they should all die. There we go. And then round 91, we're not gonna have to worry about the fortified ceramics. And then it's only BFBs, so I'll use a glue strike whenever I see the last BFB come on the screen. And then we're just gonna purely and utterly annihilate the rest of the round. I'm not actually sure if the glue storm or the glue strike is closer to the alchemist than the spiked mines, but I kind of want to get stronger stimulant. And then if for whatever reason the glue gunner's getting buffed over the spike factory, then we can put something in between. But no. Alright, I need to use abilities for round 92. We are struggling. I think I'm just going to use everything. I was too busy yapping, so I kind of punished myself. We could always get a bomb. We could always get a sabotage as well. That could never hurt. So I'm thinking about it. You know what? It might be better to do a smart spikes on a, what's it called? On a spike storm, because then it won't put spikes on the balloon track, and then we will not have to worry about missing out on any spikes. 93 we are gonna take down with the double spiked mines. And there is room for a third spike factory. That is intriguing. I think I'm gonna do it. And I'm gonna see which one of these spike factories is getting buffed. Okay, it is the one that I just placed. So I'm gonna get a third spiked mines, because I think it will be worth it. We're gonna be able to pop these ZOMGs. Azili is on level 17 on round 94, and eventually 95, so I'm not sure we're gonna be at level 20, but maybe that's gonna be okay. We also are not quite to another spiked mines. It would be nice to have a sabotage for round 95, because these DDTs are coming out fast and furious. I'm going to use a glue strike when I see a decent amount of DDTs on screen, but I think we're handling so far. But just to play it safe, I am going to use a snowstorm and then get this third spiked mines down. And we do have a hex for 96, which is very good. Azili is probably not going to be level 20. That's really unfortunate. Alright, we have a ton of balloons on 96. I think I'm going to use a glue strike for this group of BFBs. And then we should have a big enough spike pile where we can just use a hex when the ZOMGs come out on the screen. And we should be able to handle the rest of this round. Yeah, there's one ZOMG left, but it's been weakened quite a bit, so we're good. And one thing that I've been not doing that I definitely could have been this whole time is using micro on my blue incineration. I'm very smart. Anyways, I'm not going to use a blooncin ability for, or not a blooncin. I'm not going to use Hex on 97 because we can just use the blooncineration to turn the BFBs into fortifieds as soon as the ZOMGs pop. So I see both ZOMGs. I'm going to use an early glue strike because then we should probably have it back up for 98. Alright, we're not doing a ton of damage to these ZOMGs. I think I'm just going to use a snowstorm just to get some slowing action. And then definitely going to use a Moab Assassin. Here goes the first ZOMG, and since that got shredded, I think we should be fine for the second one. And now we have Moab Hex for 98. So really, we probably just need something for 99. Yeah, Azili is not even at level 18 yet, so we're not even close. So, let's get a Sabo. And then what else can we even get? I could maybe get a Moab Shove. but, or not a Moab shove, a Moab glue, but there's not really a lot of range for it. So, let's see, I could get another Moab Mauler. We got 4,500 bucks. I never remember what's good. We could probably get an unstable cock actually, so let's do that at the front. And we can afford it with $200 to spare. We're gonna put it on strong, and let's play the round out. I need to move my Bloonsin back to the front. That would be smart. And let's just use a Moab Hex and a Glue Storm, because we need to start destroying these ZOMGs. So I'm gonna slow them down, put the Bloonsin in the middle, and there we go. All the ZOMGs, oh, I didn't mean to do that. All the ZOMGs are down. So now we can just turn all the rest of these BFBs into regulars. Fortifieds are not an issue. The good thing about blooncineration is it does make round 98 quite easy. And we are pretty much up to speed with all our abilities for round 99. Yeah, we are not getting level 20 Zeely, which is unfortunate, but we kind of needed everything else. So we're gonna have to pray that we have enough around 100 damage. If I could afford a Spike Storm, I mean, that would be lovely. But it's very expensive, and round 99 does not give us a ton of money. So, yeah, there's really nothing we could do. So we need some good single target damage, which I think is going to be in the form of Moab Assassins. So there's literally nowhere in this village's range that I can put an assassin that will be discounted, which is slightly unfortunate. That's okay. Yeah, we're so close, but not quite there. Alright, there's one. We're not going to quite have the second one. All I'm going to do for round 99 is just use a Sabo. And make sure my Bloonsin's in the right place. Oh! Blooncineration debuff, or de-fortifies the DDTs as well. So, round 99 is going to be no problem as well. And then for round 100, let's just get a 100 sniper. Just do the best that we can. And we are going to have to micro. The good thing about Zeely is once the bad gets popped, we can use the Hex, and we will absolutely destroy the rest. So, let's get ready for it. Let's slow down and let's just micro our Blooncineration. Let's use an early Glue Strike, and then we can use both of our Assassin abilities because we have the debuffed bad. We're already at our first damage state, which is a decent sign. We just need as much damage as possible. We can't use our Hex yet. We're gonna need these spiked mines to clutch up. We can use our second Glue Strike. And then we just need to pray. There we go. No, what? I thought those DDTs were dead. I used my Hex. I didn't think they would pop into ceramics unless they popped at the same time. Oh, that sucks. That's so unfortunate. I think we need the Moab Assassin. I don't know if there's anything I can do better. Dang it. I guess another Druid just for the 8 damage. Alright, let's go Blooncineration at the very front. Let's go early Glue Strike. Let's do 2 Assassins. And let's try to just use better micro, and I don't really know what we could do better. We can use this Assassin ability as soon as possible. Alright, whenever I see the DDT, or the bad in its most damaged state, I'm just gonna spam the Hex. There we go. And that'll do it. Man. It's always the second try. I swear it's always the second try. Well, we have the gold border. And I think that the 205 is probably better around 100 damage. I might do a sandbox run just to check, but we have the yellow border. You know that's not good enough if you've watched the series, so I'm gonna do this one more time, make sure I don't have to restart a round, and then we'll get the black border and make it look pretty. Alright, I made some optimizations, and by optimizations I mean a ton of optimizations. I kept the 3 spiked mines just to kind of fit the theme of the video. I got a stronger stim that is buffing these 2 factories, and then I got the balloon sabo, but no snowstorm and no unstable concoction. And then I put my glue strike at the front instead of in the back, and that was enough to help me get to round 99 with $19,000. I have a spike storm for round 100, and since I have the money, I'm probably going to get another spike storm. That's not what I meant to do. Okay, we are going to use our sabo for 99, and that probably is going to be all we need. But if I can play it safe, I'll get an Arctic Wind just to try to slow down balloons a little bit. But here we go. Let's use our sabotage because 99 is pretty quick. And then as soon as these DDTs come out, I can use the Heartstopper. And that should be enough to beat round 99. One sabo kind of does the trick. And then as long as we have our hex back for round 100, we should be fine. And I think this will be enough. So let's start the round. There we go. Let's use our glue strike and 2 spike storms to get some good early bad damage. And then I'm gonna put the Azili on first, just so the DDTs get hit when the bad pops. Let me spam 3. There we go. And then now that we have the hex, the ZOMGs will die. Boom. That is why Azili is good on this map. And let's check it. Boom. There's our black border. Alright. I'm really annoyed because I literally only lost 1 time. I redid round 100 1 time. And it took me a couple attempts to get back to round 100 and beat it properly, but this is the method that worked. So that's an easy way to beat Sunset Gulch on chimps. Just do the triple spiked mines with the blooncineration, and you should be fine. So thanks for watching again. Love you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.